2 days later, Emma sat in her small apartment, her fingers running over the stubble on her scalp. The police had taken her statement, and an investigation was underway. She felt a mixture of fear and determination. Fear of what Alex might do next, but determination to see justice served. Her phone buzzed with a message from Sarah, her best friend. "How are you holding up?" Sarah asked, concern evident even through the text. Emma sighed, typing back, "It's been hard, but I'm managing. The police are looking into it. I just hope they can do something." A knock at the door startled her. Her heart raced as she got up to answer it, half expecting to see Alex on the other side. It was the police. "Emma, we need you to come with us to the station. Your boyfriend is there, and we need to discuss the situation with you," Officer Jenkins said, his expression serious but kind. Is he under arrest?" Emma asked, her voice shaking. "He's being questioned. We need your help to ensure we have all the facts straight." Officer Lee added. Emma took a deep breath and nodded. "Okay, I'll come." At the police station, they led her to a small room where she could hear voices from the next room. She knew Alex was in there. "We just need you to confirm a few details, Emma," Officer Jenkins said, sitting down across from her. Emma nodded, trying to steady her breathing. "All right, I'll do my best. We have your statement and the evidence you've provided. We need you to identify some of the items Alex used, and we also need you to clarify a few points about that night." Officer Lee explained, "Of course, I'll answer whatever you need," Emma replied, her voice trembling slightly. In the other room, Alex was speaking to the officers. "I love my girlfriend very much, but I didn't shave her head. He said that day I was in Switzerland," he claimed, producing his passport with entry and exit stamps. Emma looked at Officer Jenkins and Officer Lee, confused and worried. "He's lying. He was with me." "I don't understand how he could have been in another country," she said, her voice shaking. "We'll look into his claim, Emma." "Don't worry," Officer Lee assured her. "But his friends were there too. They helped him hold me down," Emma insisted. "Emma, we need to verify the existence of these friends. Can you give us their names or any details about them?" Officer Jenkins asked. Well, Emma thought for a moment. "Mike and John, I don't know their last names, but they've been around Alex for a while. We'll investigate. But right now, we need you to stay strong and stick to your statement." Officer Lee said, "He's trying to make me look crazy." Emma whispered, more to herself than to anyone else. "Emma, we believe you. These things take time to unravel," Officer Jenkins said gently. "Can I see him?" "I need to confront him," Emma asked, surprising herself with the request. Officer Lee hesitated, but then nodded. "If you think it will help, we can arrange it. But remember, he might try to manipulate you." "I need to do this," Emma said firmly. They led her to the room where Alex was being held. As she entered, he looked up, feigning surprise. "Emma, what are you doing here?" Alex asked, his tone casual. "Stop lying, Alex. You were there. You and your friends did this to me," Emma said, her voice filled with a mix of anger and pain. "I don't know what you're talking about, Emma. I was in Switzerland." "Look at my passport," Alex replied, holding it up. "Your passport doesn't change what happened. You hurt me, Alex. You shaved my head and humiliated me," Emma said, her eyes welling up with tears. "Emma, you're confused." "I would never do that to you," Alex said, shaking his head. "Don't gaslight me. I know what happened. I won't let you get away with this," Emma said, her voice strong despite the tears streaming down her face. "We'll get to the bottom of this, Emma," Officer Jenkins said, leading her out of the room. "Search his phone," Emma insisted. Look at his call logs and messages. He must have contacted Mike and John. They brought Alex's phone into evidence and began their search. After a while, Officer Lee came back to Emma, looking puzzled. We went through his phone. There are no calls or messages that suggest any coordination with Mike or John. It's like they never existed. Emma felt a wave of disbelief wash over her. No, that can't be right. They were there. I saw them. How could they just disappear? She said, her voice shaking with frustration. We'll keep investigating. Sometimes these things are more complicated than they seem. Officer Jenkins reassured her. But what if he erased everything? There must be some trace, Emma said, desperately trying to make sense of the situation. We'll look into that possibility, Officer Lee said. For now, it's important you stay calm and let us handle the investigation. Emma nodded, though she felt anything but calm. I feel like I'm in a nightmare. How can he be so convincing? And why can't you find anything? It's not uncommon for people to cover their tracks well, Officer Jenkins said, but we won't give up. Your testimony is crucial, and we'll use every resource available to get to the truth. A few hours later, Alex was released, as was Emma. However, what came next left Emma in shock. I want my girlfriend back. I didn't shave her head. She's making this up, Alex told the officers. The officers sighed, looking at Emma. He has the right to have you back at home, unless we have concrete evidence against him. Emma's eyes widened in disbelief. But you can't be serious. After everything I've told you, after everything he's done, Emma, without solid evidence, it's difficult to keep him away. He denies the charges, and we can't hold him without proof. Officer Lee explained gently, I can't go back with him. He's dangerous. Emma pleaded, her voice shaking. Emma, you have the right to request a restraining order, Officer Jenkins said. But until then, we can't legally prevent him from being in the same house. Emma turned to Alex, anger and fear in her eyes. You think you can just walk back into my life and pretend like nothing happened? You're a monster. Emma, stop this. You're only making things worse for yourself, Alex said, his tone patronizing. I'm not going anywhere with you, Emma declared, her voice resolute. Officer, she can't stay on the streets. It's not safe, Alex said, turning to the police. I have friends I can stay with. Emma shot back. We need to follow the law here. Emma, if you have a safe place to stay, you should go there, Officer Lee suggested. I will. I have no intention of staying anywhere near him, Emma said, glaring at Alex. Fine, run off to your friends, but this isn't over, Emma, Alex warned. Emma turned to the officers. Please make sure he doesn't follow me. We'll make sure you're safe, Emma, Officer Jenkins assured her. As they left the police station, Alex whispered to her, I'll shave your head again if you don't listen to me. They won't put me in jail. Emma's heart raced, but she refused to show her fear. Stay away from me, Alex, she said firmly, before quickly heading to her friend's house. A month passed and the case was closed due to lack of evidence. During that time, Emma's hair had grown into a pixie cut. Alex, still obsessed, was devising a plan to shave her head again. He contacted one of Emma's friends, hoping to use her in his scheme. Hey, Emma. Do you want to go to the salon with me tomorrow? I found a new place that's really good, her friend suggested casually. Emma hesitated. I don't know. I'm still a bit traumatized from everything that happened. Come on. It'll be fun. Just a trim to keep your pixie cut neat. It'll help you feel better, her friend coaxed. Emma sighed, feeling the weight of her apprehension. All right, but only a trim. I don't want anything drastic. The next day they arrived at the salon. As Emma settled into the chair, she felt a sense of unease. Her friend chatted with the stylist, the man Emma didn't recognize. "This is Emma. She wants to keep her pixie cut, but make it look a bit sharper," her friend said. "Sure thing," the stylist replied, his eyes glinting with something Emma couldn't quite place. As he started trimming, Emma closed her eyes, trying to relax. But then she heard a familiar, menacing voice. "Change of plans, shave it all off," Alex commanded, stepping into view. Emma's eyes flew open in terror. "No, what are you doing here?" she cried. "You didn't listen, Emma. Now you'll pay," Alex said coldly. Emma tried to get out of the chair, but Alex's grip was firm. "Stay still, or it will be worse," he threatened. Her friend stood by, looking conflicted, but ultimately stepping aside. "I'm sorry, Emma. He said he'd hurt me if I didn't help," she said, tears in her eyes. "I trusted you," Emma yelled, struggling against Alex's hold. The stylist turned on the clippers and Emma's heart sank. "Please don't do this," she begged, tears streaming down her face. "You brought this on yourself," Alex said, his voice devoid of any empathy. The clippers buzzed closer, and Emma felt the vibration against her scalp. "Stop, please," she cried out, but her pleas were ignored. In minutes, her pixie cut was gone, replaced by a harsh, bald scalp. Alex finally let her go, and Emma collapsed to the floor, sobbing. Alex stood over her, a cruel smile on his face. "Your friend betrayed you, Emma? You have no one left to turn to." Emma looked up, tears streaming down her face. "Why are you doing this to me? What did I ever do to deserve this? You didn't listen. Now, you'll pay the price," Alex said coldly. "I've already filed a complaint with the police, claiming your friend disrespected you. They won't believe anything you say now." Emma's heart sank even further. "You can't keep doing this. I'll find a way to stop you." Alex laughed. "Good luck with that. If you don't stay with me, I'll shave your head every day. You have nowhere else to go." Emma's resolve hardened. "I will never stay with you. I will find a way to escape this nightmare. Keep dreaming, Emma. But remember, every time you try to run, I'll be right there to bring you back," Alex said, his voice menacing. "You can't control me forever," Emma said, her voice trembling but determined. "We'll see about that," Alex replied. Turning to leave the salon, Emma stayed on the floor, her mind racing. She knew she had to come up with a plan, and quickly. She couldn't let Alex win. As she picked herself up, she whispered to herself, "This isn't over. I'll find a way out." Later that night, she confronted her closest friend, the one who had betrayed her. "How could you do this to me? I trusted you," Emma said, her voice filled with hurt and anger. "I was scared, Emma." "He threatened me," her friend replied, looking away. "You still had a choice. You could have warned me," Emma retorted. "I'm sorry, Emma. I never wanted this to happen," her friend said, tears in her eyes. "Sorry won't fix this. I can't stay with you. I need to come up with a plan," Emma said, resolute. "What's your plan?" "Where will you go?" her friend asked, worried. "I'll have to go back to him for now," Emma said, her voice steady despite the fear in her heart. "You can't be serious. He'll hurt you again," her friend protested. "I know, but it's the only way to buy myself some time to figure out a real escape," Emma replied. Her friend looked at her, guilt and sadness in her eyes. "Please be careful, Emma." "I will. I have no choice," Emma said, turning to leave. The next day, Emma returned to Alex's place, steeling herself for what was to come. "You're back." "I knew you'd see sense," Alex said smugly. "I need a place to stay." "But this doesn't mean you've won," Emma said, her voice cold.